Well, the Southern Poverty Law Center is making news tonight after publishing a controversial new list. This is the same group that once put presidential candidate and famed neurosurgeon, pediatric neurosurgeon, Dr. Ben Carson on the same extremist list as the KKK. This time, the SPLC has compiled a rundown of what it says are, quote, the most hardline anti-Muslim women activists in the country. And among them, some very familiar faces. Our next guest says his group was targeted by a crazed gunman after this same group, the SPLC, did something similar a couple of years ago. Tony Perkins is the president of the Family Research Council. He's with us now by phone because we had some problems with his satellite hookup. Tony, thank you for being here. And so the Family Research Council was dubbed an extremist hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center, and then the man who came in and shot up your organization and shot a guard later said what?
Well, he actually confessed in federal court that he received the information on who to target and where to find us through the Southern Poverty Law Center with their help, using their website. And, 3 years later, there is rarely a day goes by that those who walk through our front door under the words of faith, family, and freedom are not reminded of this SPLC-inspired shooting. Now, it takes time for people to get through the trauma of seeing one of their coworkers shot, who literally risked his own life to save his coworker. This guy had over 100 rounds of ammunition. But we're seeing the same type of thing play out, Megan, in South Carolina. The key to overcoming the trauma is forgiveness. And I think that's what's important, is that we see these folks are forgiven. We forgive them, hold no bitterness. But I do believe we have an obligation to speak out and prevent organizations like this from putting other people at risk, like they've done to these women. They've put them on a hit list.
That's exactly what Judicial Watch said. They came out and described this as a starter kit for jihadists. And if you look at even the photos, well, the drawings, the artist's renderings of the women, we didn't have a full screen made, so I apologize for this, but this is just sort of my rough notes that my producers gave me. You can see, look what they do. They try to demonize the photos of people like Brigitte Gabriel, Ann Coulter, you can see her there, and so on, trying to make them look as terrifying as possible. And real damage could come to these women as a result of this portrayal and this imagery they're trying to paint.
Look, you want to talk, Megan, about a war on women? The Southern Poverty Law Center has created this jihadist list by marking these 12 women. And these 12 have something in common. Yes, they're all women, but they're all conservative. And they all have spoken out not against Islam, but against radical Islam that abuses and kills women. Some of these women, like Brigitte, has experienced this firsthand as she grew up in Lebanon. You've got former police officers, investigators, CIA officers who know what they're talking about. And I have to ask this question: what legitimate civil rights organization would try to intimidate and silence women? They wouldn't. That's something the Taliban would do.
Tony, thank you for being here.